What if I told you that hostility between groups can be created out of nowhere? And just as easily, those same enemies can become close friends. In 1954, psychologist Muzaffar Sherif conducted one of the most fascinating and controversial experiments in social psychology. It was called the Robbers Cave experiment, and it showed how conflict, competition, and cooperation shape human behavior. So, how did a simple summer camp turn into a battleground? And what does this experiment reveal about human nature? Let's dive in. In the summer of 1954, Sheriff and his research team gathered 22 11-year-old boys, all from similar middle-class white backgrounds, and took them to Robbers Cave State Park in Oklahoma. The boys didn't know they were part of an experiment. They thought they were just going to summer camp. Sheriff split them into two separate groups, making sure they never met each other in the first phase. Each group bonded over several days, choosing names, flags, and group identities. One group named themselves the Eagles. The other called themselves the Rattlers. The boys formed tight friendships within their groups, developing loyalty, teamwork, and shared traditions. They had no idea that another group was just a short distance away. After a week, the researchers introduced the two groups to each other, but not as friends. Instead, they set up a series of high-stakes competitions like tug-of-war, baseball, and treasure hunts. The prize was trophies, medals, and bragging rights. At first, the boys just wanted to win, but soon the competition turned into real hostility. They taunted and insulted each other. They raided each other's cabins. They burned each other's flags. They even physically fought on multiple occasions. The researchers deliberately fueled the tension, limiting rewards so that only one group could win. This us versus them mentality took hold quickly, proving how easy it is to turn people against each other. Sound familiar? This same pattern happens in schools, workplaces, politics, and even wars. The conflict was clear, but could the hostility be undone? Sheriff and his team devised a brilliant plan to see if the boys could go from enemies to allies. First, they tried simple social interactions, like letting the groups eat together or watch movies. But it didn't work. The hostility remained, so the researchers created a series of crises, problems so big that neither group could solve them alone. These were called superordinate goals, shared challenges that required cooperation to succeed. The first crisis was the water supply problem. The camp's water supply mysteriously broke. The boys had to work together to find the source of the problem and fix the pipes. The second crisis was the stuck truck. A truck carrying the boys' food got stuck in the mud. Both groups had to pull it out together or go hungry. The third crisis was a shared fundraiser. The groups were given limited resources and had to pool their money to bring in a fun movie for everyone. Slowly, something incredible happened. The insults stopped. The fights ended. They worked together. They started making friends. By the end of the camp, the Eagles and the Rattlers were no longer enemies. In fact, on the way home, they chose to sit together on the bus, even using their remaining money to buy each other drinks. The experiment had worked. Sheriff's experiment revealed a deep truth about human nature. Competition creates conflict. Shared goals create unity. Cooperation can dissolve even deep divisions. This explains so much about the real world. It shows why people form cliques and rivalries, how nations go to war over resources, and why bringing people together requires more than just telling them to get along. We see this in politics, workplaces, sports, and society at large. The key to turning enemies into friends is superordinate goals. When people face a common challenge, they see each other as allies instead of adversaries. So, what does the Robbers Cave experiment teach us? It shows that division isn't permanent. Enemies can become friends when they work toward a greater goal. This isn't just psychology, it's a blueprint for solving conflicts in the real world. What do you think? Can this principle be used to solve conflicts today? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this experiment as fascinating as I did, don't forget to like this video to support the channel, subscribe for more mind-blowing psychology content, and share this with someone who loves psychology. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.